Hi, Gene Sherrard here. Welcome to our online-only feature, Seattle Now and Then 360. Each Now and Then column is accompanied by a 360-degree video, which we invite you to explore while listening to an audio recording of the column itself. Quick note, our then photos are positioned directly above the now location. This week, Seattle's Alaska-Yukon-Pacific Exposition, 1909. Here's Clay Eels with the story.
This is a fairly wide view of Seattle's 1909 Alaska-Yukon-Pacific Exposition. Back in 1962, the glitz of the Seattle World's Fair filled my 11-year-old eyes with wonder. I still treasure its curios, including a souvenir tabloid with a custom banner headline printed on the spot, employing the 6-month show's crowning landmark to convey whimsy. Clay Eels jumps off Space Needle. I'm grateful it was fake news. At no time in visits that summer did my child's mind grasp that this was the city's second World's Fair, but a nod to its precursor lay in the final word of its alternate name, the Century 21 Exposition. 53 years before, in 1909, Seattle's, indeed Washington State's, first World's Fair embraced the sprawling title of Alaska-Yukon-Pacific Exposition to salute the 1897 gold rush and what today we call the Pacific Rim. The AYP, as it was known, opened 110 years ago this month at the University of Washington, which had relocated from downtown 14 years prior in 1895. The fair transformed the campus. With attractions from fine art to lowbrow amusements, it also instigated neoclassical, if largely temporary, architecture, Olmsted Brothers gardens, a new statue of the UW's namesake, and a stately promenade and fountain pointing to Mount Rainier. The sweep was as wide as our then photo, taken atop the AYP Ferris wheel by official photographer F.H. Noel. It looks north and east, the western border of 15th Avenue slicing by at far left. But this panorama holds irony. While it conveys the fair's grandeur, it covers only a fraction of its grounds. Visible is the main entrance at 40th Street, off 15th. A short walk east reveals the George Washington statue, today 1 block north, and an array of gleaming structures. The Fine Arts Building, center left, the domed U.S. Government Building, the Alaska Building, center, the smaller Washington Women's Building, the Klondike Circle, the Agriculture Building, behind a foreground spire of the Swedish Building, and an unintended presage of World War I, the Battle of Gettysburg Cyclorama. War, 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 replete with the rush, roar, and rumble of battle. It's the greatest cultural event that's ever taken place in the city's history, asserts Magnolia's Dan Curley, an AYP researcher and collector who runs aype.com, an educational website. He says the 3,740,551 people who attended over 138 days enjoyed a uniquely inspiring, even elegant experience. If people could walk the AYP today, he says, they would be beside themselves. World's Fairs, a prolific phenomenon of the late 19th and early to mid-20th centuries, have fallen out of fashion here. The most recent U.S. World's Fairs being 45 years ago in Spokane, Expo 74, and in Knoxville, 1982, and New Orleans, 1984. A few hours north, Vancouver, BC, put on Expo 86, the last World's Fair in North America. Still, we can smile that Seattle hosted a spectacular pair. In our then photo, count the flags, big and small, strewn throughout this glimmering view. We calculate at least 75. For detailed maps, engaging narrative, and stunning photos on the AYP, check out a centennial book by Alan J. Stein, Paula Becker, and the staff of HistoryLink. Today, this vantage, slightly higher than the AYP Ferris wheel, looks north from atop the University of Washington Physics Astronomy Building. Rising in the foreground is the new UW Population Health Facility set to open in late 2020. Peeking to its right is a portion of the UW Architecture Building, formerly the Fine Arts Building. It and the UW Cunningham Building, formerly the Washington Women's Building, which was moved north in 2009 to a spot just left of the construction crane in this view, are the only remaining public structures from the AYP.